we'll talk quickly through the key problems solved and then the steps to become a cash manager consulting partner. I say specifically consulting because although the software you earn revenue from a 50-50 revenue share, there's also some training and stuff that you guys could get out of the customer in the initial phase of the debtors module, and then thereafter in the budgeting phase as well. It's probably a good thing just to quickly remind you on some of those key problems that we solve. One is we automate the collection of cash from your debtors book, and we do that just by simply being able to quickly and easily send reminder emails. We can give the accountants and the financial team an instant view of the actuals that are coming into the financial system against budgets. So we do that without spreadsheets, and we also then give a very easy way to do what if budgets. In other words, well, let's increase the revenue, let's decrease expenses, what happens to the budgets. And then finally, we solve what we call the laborious cash flow forecasting problem. All of you will have customers where cash flow forecasting is an ongoing nightmare. We solve that with Cash Manager by allowing you to forecast against actuals, and you can use either the master budget to forecast, or you can use those what-if budgets as well. And then finally, you can keep those cash flow forecasts updated as the actual results are known. So a quick example there is, let's say you have a cash flow forecast 1st of April in South Africa, which is your year start, if I remember rightly. In August, your accountant might want to do a new cash flow forecast. Cash Manager will allow him to do that cash flow forecast with updated actuals, and we'll show you quickly and easily how to do that. The most important thing I can ask all of you in your different businesses is you should use Cash Manager at the very minimal for collecting your own debtors. It works. We use it ourselves, of course, in our own business. We use it in a number of the partners' business. And I'm not saying that you are using budgets within your business. I'm not saying you should, use it for forecasting, but you should use it for collecting of your own debtors. Why not? You don't pay for the software, and it'll improve your own cash flow as well. So I'll shoot straight into the demonstration. It is only about a 15 to 20 minute demonstration. I'll open the lines at the end, or if you've got questions, then just send them through via the chat box, or even if you're bored with me by the end of it, then just send via email. Delighted to help you. All right, so let's switch across to Cash Manager as such. Here we go. So I'll give you the quick helicopter view. Cash Manager is broken up into the Debtors Invoice Manager. We do have a Credits Invoice Manager, but I'm not going to focus on that in this particular session. We have the Budget section, and we have the Cash Flow Forecasting. So those are the three key areas of Cash Manager. In the Debtors Invoice Manager, you'll notice a few speedometers. That's the bank balance, which you would map to under administration, the total debtors book, the daily debtors cash flow, and the average debtors days. And then there's two other areas our customers love. Here's the top 20 most outstanding invoices, and here is the top 20 late debtors. The late debtors, how we calculate that is we calculate the most poorly paying debtors over the last 12 months, and we dump it here. And of course, you can sort any of these by days old, or by the amount in debit or the amount outstanding. The same with the average days down here. This is a demo database that's not linked to my bank account. In the live setup on the next screen, I'll show you how that works. So this is what we call the Debtors Invoice Manager key dashboard as such. Okay, now the next area the customers love is this area called the All Customers Invoice. And what that does is that pulls all of the invoices within Sage Evolution and displays them immediately for the debtors person to manage. And you have a variety of columns that you can use, including the invoiced amount in credit as well as debit. And we have obviously the invoiced amount outstanding, estimated payment date, and so on and so on. You can add further columns from here, or you can take further columns away, depending on how you want to actually use this particular screen. What's also useful here is instantly you can see any unallocated credit payments, and I can do that right now by just choosing the unallocated credit or payment, and you can of course revert that back to all as well. So customers like that. What you can also do is sort on any of these columns by simply dragging to the top. It depends again on your own personal preference. You might want to see it on the trading terms, you might want to see it on the invoice outstanding, etc. So there you have the second screen under the Debtors Invoice Manager. The third screen is where Cash Manager pulls all of the invoices by age. So you would have your different ages, age 1 to 4, and again you can then sort by those different ages, either vertically or you can drag the actual column heading as such. And so that's another view that makes it easier to work with as such. But I guess the most useful part of Cash Manager, everybody, is when you can automate the collection of that cash. So, and you would do that just here by sending an email reminder. Clicking on that button, you can immediately send a pre-formatted template to any of these ages. So 7 to 13 days, 14 to 29 days, 30 to 59 days, and 60 plus days. I can select any one of these and send a particular email to those outstanding debtors. I can also exclude customers from this particular run. I can just untick them, and I might have spoken to that customer this morning and I don't want them to get the 30 to 59 day reminder, and so I can untick them. And then further, I can actually tick this box and make sure that the reminders don't send the emails to customers with a negative or zero account balance. So that's pretty simple and pretty easy to use, and I'll give you a quick example on how we do that. I'll just cancel that. I'll shift across to our live software, and I'm just going to send it to our 7 to 13 days, 14 to 29, and 30 to 59. But before I send it, I'm going to send a test email. That's a good check of that. And I'll do that by quickly popping in my email address. Oopsie, it's because I've copied that. So let's go @plussoft.solutions.com, and I'm now going to send that. And that's going to send emails, first of all, to my own test, and then when I'm happy with that, I can then send reminder emails. So if I switch across now to my own email, let's have a look if they've come in there. Let's cancel that, get rid of that. No, we don't want to save that. And here we go. Here's the overdue invoices that's come through. And when I open one of those invoices, then what I can see is I can say, "Dear George, your account is overdue and placed on hold, and copies of invoice can be sent, but here's the invoice number, the invoice date, the invoice due date, invoice description, reference, how many days overdue, invoice amount, and the amount outstanding." Now, of course, if there's 4 or 5, then that would, make itself present in that email. So that works like a bomb. One other factor here is you can actually exclude permanently customers from a reminder email. So the reason why you would do that, everybody, is because you might have a customer that always pays late, but they're good for their money. You can exclude them there as well. Now, the other question is, where do you set that all up to make it flow? Under administration, under your email settings, under the SMTP, you would put in the details there, and then here you would define what kind of emails go to those different ages. So here's the different ages, and then there's the different headers. So you might start off with, "Hey Tommy, please can we get your money," all the way to, "Listen dude, give us the money, or I'm sending some knee breakers in." So that's entirely up to you how you want that particular message. And again, you can preview that information. So that works quite well. And you can send a test email there as well. So that is how that works under the Debtors Invoice Manager. And every single customer could use that within your target range. That is, of course, small customers won't be applicable, but every single customer could install Cash Manager It's an instant plug and play. It'll produce those invoices and allow them to set that up within 15 minutes, and it works. So that is the first part of Cash Manager, the Debtors Invoice Manager as such.